Gentlemen, let's have a frank conversation, man to man. Forget everything else around you for the next few minutes. I want to ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly just to yourself. When you get up in the morning, after you've pushed yourself out of bed and your feet hit the floor, what's the first thing you feel? Is it a sense of energy, a readiness to take on the day with vigor and purpose? Or is it a familiar ache in your joints? A wave of fatigue before the day has even begun? Do you look at your reflection while you shave and see a man who looks tired? A man whose eyes don't have the same fire they once did? Do you find yourself relying on that second or third cup of coffee just to get through the afternoon? Do you feel like you're living in a body that has begun to betray you? A body where the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, especially in those moments of intimacy that used to bring you joy and connection? If any of that sounds familiar, I need you to listen very closely, because you have been sold a lie. Pervasive, damaging lie. The lie is that this is all a normal, inevitable part of getting older. My name is Dr. Your Name. For more than 25 years, my life's work has been dedicated to the science of male aging and vitality. I've sat across the desk from thousands of men. CEOs, construction workers, teachers, grandfathers, all of them in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they all shared that same quiet fear. The fear that their best days were behind them. But what I've proven, time and time again, is that the thief stealing your energy, your confidence, and your masculine power isn't the number of candles on your birthday cake. The primary culprit is hiding in plain sight, masquerading as your friend. In fact, it's very likely sitting in your refrigerator or pantry right now, disguised as health food. The enemy we're fighting isn't age itself. This chronic, low-grade inflammation, this hormonal imbalance, it's poor circulation. And these conditions are not caused by age. They are caused and accelerated by our modern diet. Specifically, by certain vegetables that well-meaning experts have been telling you to eat for decades. You're trying to do the right thing for your health, but you're unknowingly consuming compounds that are quietly sabotaging your very manhood from the inside out. But here is the good news. This is the promise I've seen fulfilled countless times. Your body is not a machine designed to break down. It is a miraculous, self-healing organism that is constantly striving for balance. It wants to be strong. It wants to be vital. You just have to stop feeding it poison and start giving it the specific building blocks it desperately needs. In this video, I am going to pull back the curtain. We are going to expose the 3 primary vegetable culprits that I see consistently undermining the health of men over 60. These are the foods that can disrupt your hormones, clog your arteries, and steal essential minerals from your system. Then, more importantly, we will pivot. I will reveal the 3 forgotten heroes of the vegetable world, foods that are true nutritional powerhouses for men, capable of actively restoring your circulation, protecting your testosterone, and helping your body cleanse itself. So, if you are ready to stop accepting fatigue and decline as your new normal, I invite you to join this community. Take a second to click that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Because this isn't just information. This is your roadmap back to the man you were always meant to be, at any age. Let's begin by exposing the enemies. The first offender, and the one that causes the most disbelief, is soy. For the last 30 years, soy has been promoted as the ultimate heart-healthy food. A smart replacement for red meat and dairy. But for a man over 60, it can be a hormonal Trojan horse. Let me tell you about James. James was a 68-year-old retired history professor. A brilliant mind, a wonderful marriage of 45 years. But he came to me utterly dejected. He said, "Doctor, I feel like a ghost in my own life. I have no energy for my hobbies, no drive. My wife is patient, but I know she misses the man I was. We haven't been intimate in over a year. We ran a full hormonal panel. His heart was in great shape, but his lab results screamed the answer. His total testosterone was on the floor, and his estrogen levels were shockingly high for a man. My first question, as always, was about his diet. He proudly told me that he'd been a model patient for his cardiologist. He'd started his day with soy milk in his cereal, often had a tofu scramble for lunch, and snacked on edamame. He was doing everything he was told was right. Here is the scientific reality. Soy is the most concentrated source of plant-based compounds called phytoestrogens, specifically isoflavones like genistein and daidzein. The word phytoestrogen literally means plant estrogen. In a man's body, these compounds can bind to your estrogen receptors, creating an estrogenic effect. As a man ages, your testosterone production naturally begins to decline while the activity of an enzyme called aromatase, which converts your testosterone into estrogen, increases. It's a double jeopardy. Now, imagine adding a third factor, flooding your system with foods that act like estrogen. You are creating the perfect hormonal storm for fatigue, muscle loss, fat gain around the middle, brain fog, and a complete shutdown of your libido and erectile function. We designed a simple plan for James. We systematically replaced every soy product with clean sources of protein like wild-caught fish, pasture-raised eggs, and grass-fed meat. Took time, but after 6 weeks, he came back to my office. He stood up straighter. The light was back in his eyes. He told me he was back in his workshop, woodworking for hours without fatigue. And with a slight smile, he said, "My wife and I took a weekend trip to the coast. It felt like a second honeymoon." That is the power of hormonal balance. The second secret enemy on your plate is corn, but not in the way you think. I'm not talking about a beautiful, fresh ear of corn from a local farm. I am talking about the industrial corn that has become the bedrock of the modern processed food industry. High fructose corn syrup, corn oil, cornstarch, maltodextrin. Let me introduce you to Robert. Robert was 62, a former truck driver who was plagued by constant, nagging pain in his knees and back. He was perpetually tired, and his blood pressure was creeping up, despite his efforts to eat healthy. He told me, "Doc, I switched from butter to margarine years ago. I cook with vegetable oil. I avoid fat, but I feel worse than ever." Robert's problem was a silent, invisible fire raging inside his body. Chronic inflammation. Processed corn derivatives are incredibly high in a type of polyunsaturated fat called omega-6. Now your body needs omega-6 fats, but they must exist in a delicate balance with anti-inflammatory omega-3 fats, which you find in things like fish, walnuts, and flaxseed. Our ancestors evolved on a diet with a ratio of about 1:1. Today, thanks to the prevalence of processed seed oils like corn and soy oil, that ratio is closer to 20:1 in the average American man. Imagine your body's inflammatory response is like a fire department. You need it to show up to put out fires like an injury or infection. But an excess of omega-6 is like having 1,000 false alarms going off all day, every day, all over your body. This state of constant, low-grade inflammation is like a slow-acting acid. It corrodes the delicate lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium. And the endothelium has one of the most critical jobs for a man. It produces nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax, to widen, to allow blood to flow freely. When inflammation damages your endothelium, your nitric oxide production plummets. Your arteries become stiff and narrow. This is why Robert's blood pressure was rising. This is why his joints ached. And it's the #1 physical cause of erectile dysfunction. Blood simply cannot get where it needs to go. Robert's heart-healthy corn oil was fanning the flames of the very fire that was destroying his vitality. The solution was clear. We eliminated all processed seed oils and had him start taking a high-quality fish oil supplement and eating fatty fish like salmon twice a week. Within 2 months, his joint pain had subsided so much that he started taking daily walks, and he reported, for the first time in 5 years, the return of morning erections, the body's natural sign that the circulatory system is starting to heal. The third and final villain is perhaps the most shocking because it's the absolute darling of the health community. Spinach. To be precise, large quantities of raw spinach. This story comes from William, a 67-year-old amateur cyclist, a man who prided himself on his fitness. He was the picture of health except for one problem. His libido was non-existent, and he felt a deep, unshakable fatigue. He started every single day by blending a massive green smoothie with handfuls of raw spinach, kale, and other greens, thinking he was flooding his body with nutrients. His blood tests revealed a puzzling contradiction. His testosterone levels were low, and his zinc levels were critically low, yet his diet was theoretically rich in zinc. The problem wasn't what he was eating, it was what his food was doing inside him. The enemy here is a compound called oxalate. Raw spinach is one of the most oxalate-dense foods on the planet. In your digestive system, these oxalate molecules are like tiny, greedy thieves. They bind to essential minerals, especially zinc and calcium, and form insoluble crystals. This means you cannot absorb the minerals, and they are simply excreted from your body. For a man, zinc is non-negotiable. It is the master mineral for testosterone production and prostate health. Without adequate zinc, your body simply cannot manufacture the primary hormone that makes you a man. So, with every virtuous sip of his green smoothie, William was unknowingly stripping his body of the most crucial mineral for his masculine health. Now, am I telling you to stop eating spinach? Absolutely not. Spinach is a fantastic source of magnesium and vitamins. The key, once again, is in the preparation. The simple act of cooking, whether you steam, sauté, or boil it, drastically reduces the soluble oxalate content, breaking down the bonds and freeing up those vital minerals for your body to absorb. We had William switch from his raw smoothie to a daily omelet with 2 big handfuls of sautéed spinach and onions. In his follow-up visit, his zinc levels had normalized, and his testosterone was beginning to climb. He was finally absorbing the nutrition from his food. So now we've unmasked the traitors. But I wouldn't bring you this far without showing you the path forward. And before we introduce the 3 heroes you need to put on your plate, I want you to lean in, because for those of you who stick with me to the end, I have a critical bonus tip. A little-known mineral that acts as a bodyguard for your testosterone, amplifying the benefits of everything else we're about to discuss. It's found in a few common, delicious foods, and it's a total game changer. Let's bring in the heroes. Your first champion, the undisputed king of blood flow, is the beet. If inflammation from corn oil is the arsonist, the beet is the super soaker fire hose putting out the flames and repairing the damage. Beets are nature's most potent source of dietary nitrates. When you consume them, bacteria in your mouth and stomach convert these nitrates into nitrites, and then your body converts those nitrites into that miracle molecule, nitric oxide. Think of your circulatory system as a network of highways. Over the years, due to inflammation and plaque, those highways have become narrow, full of potholes, and riddled with traffic jams. Nitric oxide is like a crew of master road wideners. It relaxes and dilates your blood vessels, allowing blood to surge through your body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every cell, from your brain to your heart to your penis. This isn't just theory. Double-blind, placebo-controlled studies published in top-tier journals have shown that consuming beets or beet juice can significantly lower blood pressure and improve endothelial function. But preparation is everything. If you're eating canned, pickled beets, you're getting mostly sugar and salt. The high-heat canning process destroys many of the delicate nitrates. For maximum benefit, you want to consume them fresh, grated raw into a salad, roasted in the oven with a little olive oil, or steamed lightly. A small glass of fresh beet juice a few times a week can be one of the most powerful things you do for your entire cardiovascular system. Our second hero is a powerful hormone regulator and prostate protector, broccoli. Many men focus only on testosterone, but the real key to vitality as you age is managing your estrogen. This is where broccoli shines. Broccoli and its cruciferous cousins, like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts, are rich in a compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a true biological powerhouse. It is one of the most potent natural inducers of what's called phase 2 detoxification pathways in your liver. In simple English, it helps your liver identify, neutralize, and excrete harmful toxins and, most importantly for men, excess estrogen. By helping your body efficiently clear out estrogen, you naturally improve your testosterone to estrogen ratio, tipping the scales back in favor of masculine vitality. But just like with spinach, the benefits are locked behind a chemical door that is easily destroyed. The sulforaphane is only formed when the broccoli is chopped or chewed, but it is incredibly sensitive to heat. If you boil it until it's a dull olive green mush, you've destroyed the vast majority of it. The key is to steam it for no more than 3 to 4 minutes, so it's still bright green and firm tender. This preserves the compounds your body needs. Eating some raw broccoli with a healthy dip is also fantastic. Remember Robert, who was microwaving his broccoli to death? He was eating a ghost vegetable, devoid of its protective power. Making that one small change can have a profound impact on your long-term prostate and hormonal health. Our final hero, and your testosterone's silent guardian, is the mushroom. Yes, the simple, inexpensive, white-button mushroom you see in every grocery store. It is a hidden pharmacy for male hormonal health. As we discussed, the enzyme aromatase is the thief that converts your testosterone into estrogen. Aromatase activity increases with age and with body fat. This is why some men can have seemingly normal testosterone production but still suffer from all the symptoms of low T. Their testosterone is being converted into estrogen before it can do its job. This is where the humble mushroom performs its magic. Scientific studies, including those from renowned research centers, have shown that even common white-button mushrooms contain compounds that act as natural aromatase inhibitors. They don't boost your T production directly. They play defense. They act like bodyguards, intercepting the aromatase enzyme and preventing it from stealing your testosterone. This means more of your testosterone remains in its free, active, usable state to power your muscles, sharpen your mind, and fuel your libido. When my patient William, the cyclist, added sautéed mushrooms with garlic and olive oil to his diet 3 or 4 times a week, it was the final key that unlocked his vitality. He felt that calm, centered, masculine energy return, a feeling he thought he had lost forever. Now, as I promised, here is the bonus tip that supercharges all of these strategies. There's a trace mineral called boron. Science has shown that boron can play a significant role in increasing your free testosterone. In your blood, a protein called sex hormone binding globulin, or SHBG, binds to testosterone, effectively handcuffing it and making it inactive. Boron has been shown in clinical studies to help lower SHBG levels. By reducing SHBG, boron essentially uncuffs your testosterone, allowing more of it to be free and biologically active. You don't need a fancy supplement. Fantastic food sources of boron include avocados, raisins, and dates. Including half an avocado with your breakfast or having a small handful of raisins as a snack is an incredibly simple way to help maximize the testosterone your body is already producing. So, let's bring it all together. We know the enemies to watch out for: processed soy, industrial corn, and large amounts of raw spinach. We know our heroic allies: fresh beets for blood flow, lightly cooked broccoli for hormonal balance, and mushrooms to protect our testosterone. But all of this knowledge is useless if it stays in your head. It only becomes wisdom when you apply it. I am not asking you to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. I am asking you to make one small, deliberate choice. Starting tomorrow, I want you to pick just one thing from this video. Just one. Maybe you'll switch from vegetable oil to cooking with olive oil or avocado oil. Maybe you'll have a small glass of beet juice instead of orange juice. Maybe you'll add sautéed mushrooms to your morning eggs. Choose one single, manageable action, and do it consistently for 1 week. If this video has provided you with value, if it has opened your eyes, please do 3 things for me. First, click the like button to let me know this message resonated. Second, share it with another man in your life, a brother, a friend, a father who needs to hear this. Third, and most importantly, go to the comments section right now and tell me which one action you are committing to this week. I read every single comment, and your commitment creates a powerful ripple effect for everyone here. And now, for the most important part. What can you expect? The first few days, you may not feel a massive change. Your body is recalibrating. But be patient. After a week or so, you might notice you're not reaching for that afternoon coffee. You'll feel a bit more even. After a few weeks of consistent changes, you might notice your wedding ring feels a little looser as the inflammation subsides. You might wake up feeling more refreshed. You'll start to feel a warmth, a responsiveness, a return of blood flow to places it's been absent. You'll catch your reflection and see a spark in your eye that had been missing. That is the feeling of your body healing. That is the feeling of reclaiming your power. I want you to leave you with this final thought. Your life is a story, written in 3 acts. Many men are taught to believe the 3rd act is one of quiet decline. I am here to tell you that is a lie. The 3rd act can be the most powerful, meaningful, and vibrant chapter of your entire life. but it requires you to become the hero of your own story. It requires you to make conscious choices. Remember, age does not have to be a thief. You only lose the vitality that you are willing to surrender. Your story is not over. It is just beginning. And the next chapter starts with your very next meal. Thank you for your time and your trust. Stay strong, and I will see you in the next video.